right, welcome back to the Scare Value Podcast. Pete, it is August.
You know what that means, Brian.
That's buried the lead. It's 1986.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But it's T-minus 1 month until Elf. Elf is coming, everybody.
Those promos are everywhere.
I am so very, very excited. I remember there was coming. I don't know when it's coming.
What? Wait. Whoa. Back up.
Yes.
You remember what?
I remember.
You remember coming?
I remember coming. I remember
from watching the Elf promos?
I remember coming for the very first time and not knowing what was happening because it was dark and late at night, and I freaked out and thought I was dying or something, and I didn't know. I didn't look because God no, why was it all wet down there? And then I got scared and didn't tell anybody.
Didn't your uncle explain it to you?
No, he was
rude. We're off to a bad start. We're not even in the Rapist Man.
Oh, good Lord. Do we still have that?
Of course we still have it.
I don't pay attention to where we put things.
Chock full of cocaine and dollar bills, y'all.
But the other thing...
didn't like that.
There's an Elf toy coming, and it came from either Pizza Hut or Burger King. It wasn't McDonald's, but it was Pizza
Hut. And there's a lot of toys coming. And the thing I remember most about it, and because I've been seeing these Elf promos, although none of it's been in the Elf promos, commercials, but he wears a lot of Hawaiian shirts, I recall. And now I think, is that where you get your style from?
Holy cow.
Because I had an Elf toy from Pizza Hut with a Hawaiian shirt. He had a blue-green Hawaiian shirt on.
The comic book I had, he was wearing a Hawaiian shirt as he chased the cat around the house.
And Elf, he loves cats.
He sure does. And not in the way that people love cats.
Or your uncle loves cats.
Yes. I was at a bathroom a long time ago.
You're asking for it. This is the way your stories begin.
Here, I'm going to give you the two choices. I walk up to the bathroom.
Oh, it's a choose your own adventure.
It was, Brian. It was. So what they have on the doors, there's two of them.
Oh, see? One of them is heaven and one is hell. Is that the two doors? And one's a liar and one tells the truth?
I was hoping one was a bathroom.
Okay.
That's where I was going. So one was a chicken and one was a cat. And I sat there and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this information that you've given me. So I sat for a minute. I'm like, what do I feel like today? And I'm like, feeling like a cat. So I went to the cat one. It's just, you single bathroom, you shut the door, you lock it. And I peed. And then I came out and there was a lady and she was waiting for one of the bathrooms to open and she was looking at me all weird. And when I got back, I was sitting there still trying to ponder this. Like, what a weird thing to do. And I realized it was a rooster. And that is a cock. And the cat was a pussy. But I did not know that because I saw a chicken and a cat. And I got existential for a minute trying to figure out which one I was. I'm a cat, by the way. I answered that. Well, the bathroom at this restaurant answered that.
All right, don't want to tell anybody what we're doing here today? Because we've just been reliving childhood traumas. And
isn't that what we do normally?
I guess it kind of actually is. I guess that's everything, right? This is our therapy.
I guess so. Lord knows I can't afford real therapy, which is funny because I have all the money to do it.
Yeah, now you do.
But who's got the time?
In 1986, they didn't even know anything.
I don't think there were therapists back in this time.
There probably were, but they were still on the, under the impression of everything was schizophrenia and stuff. They didn't know shit.
I do have a lot of voices in my head. I had nowhere else to go with that.
Okay.
I was listening to them. Why are we here today,
That's what I
Brian?
asked, is if you wanted to tell people why we were here.
I don't know why. Obviously.
Well,
obviously.
We saw David Cronenberg's The Fly
in
theaters.
We did see that.
Back in theaters. One night only. That's not true for the entire run of the summer of 1986.
But one night only for us, because that's the only time I'm probably going to see it.
Me too. I love that movie, but I'm just, lots of things to do.
Who's Cronenberg? Other than the director of The Fly? I know I probably ask this a lot, but I don't know who he is.
I think at this point, if it's a name where you don't remember what they are, assume you've asked it many times.
I do assume that, but you give me these looks of just annoyance and pity, and it doesn't answer my question.
I think one of these weeks, I'm going to... Oh, shit. I can't do it because I don't have technology anymore. I want to record when I just know you're going to say the same question again, and I'll just record the last response and play it back for you.
All right,
but I can't do that now in 1986. So
yeah, you can have the stock answers. You've got. I don't know how many buttons this one has, but the old one let us do.
This one has too many buttons. We have a nice studio now, and I don't know what to do with it, so I don't push any of the buttons except the red one.
All right, that's more than I know. Usually, I don't push the red ones. That means bad. I've learned that through painful experience.
Well, David Cronenberg directed The Dead Zone and Scanners and Videodrome
I don't know that I've seen any of those.
and The Fly.
I've seen that one.
There you go. And The Brood.
Nope.
Oh, no.
I guess I don't know many Cronenberg.
You've seen The Dead Zone.
Yeah, that was the one with the guy, right?
Christopher Walken.
Yeah, but then he was somebody else in like a remake that came later for TBS.
This again.
But he was the guy from Weird Science, which is out now on VHS. I saw it. It must have come out last year.
Ooh.
I'm excited. I like that movie quite a bit. All right, where was I going?
You were still trying to figure out David.
Yeah, Cronenberg. Yeah, I don't know him.
Okay, well, you know The Fly.
I know The Fly. Marty McFly. He went back to the future, baby.
Let's get our reports out of the way. Minority Report, big fail.
Nothing to see there.
No, I was stunned.
Wasn't that how all of these started at the beginning, though?
I know, but this isn't, some fly-by-night cheap operation.
I see what you did there.
There you go. I didn't mean to. This isn't Chopping Mall where people just got people in the California area that had pretty headshots and put them together. This was like a real production by a real director, and he was not having anything but white people.
But you know what? There are only like 4 people in this movie, aside from that opening scene where they're at a party.
I guess, but they're all white.
Were they?
Yes,
I forgot to pay attention.
No, I don't know. Again, the Minority Report means you have to have dialogue, a name, and be germane to the plot. And that did not happen in this movie.
This one, take that, Cronenberg. Maybe that's why I've never watched his stuff before.
No, I didn't realize that
What
there
a
was...
racist he might be.
It's crazy.
But yeah, that's typical 1986.
I knew there weren't a lot of characters, but there's still they go to the hospital, they see doctors, they see there's plenty of opportunity for a character to pop up who isn't just the whitest person in New York City.
What city did this take place in New York?
I just assume.
Well, it was so white, it might have been like Minnesota or something.
I don't think it was Minnesota, but it.
Did they North Dakota?
I'm saying that because it wasn't snowing, and why would you put a movie in Minnesota if it's not going to snow?
They have really nice lakes.
The Great Lakes.
The land of 10,000 of them, in fact.
Oh, we have Great Lakes.
Yeah, we do.
They have 10,000 lakes.
We got 2 Great Lakes. And you know what? They live up to the name.
Pete, you got a boob report for us?
We got a side boob.
I got a side boob.
We got a side boob, and we had some deep cleave.
Yep.
That's what we had, 2 of. It was Gina Davis' side boob, and I remember her. That was my brother's crush.
Oh.
That was his. I don't remember who mine was. But he had dibs on Gina Davis.
In this movie, was it Jeff Goldblum?
I saw Jeff Goldblum's butt, too. We had a side boob and a Goldblum butt.
And some smoky crotch.
Smoky? Oh,
As
yeah.
he's getting out of the machine, there's smoky crotch.
You know what?
It's sexy.
Which
actually brings us to the last one. I can't give Cronenberg full credit for any 80s butt shot, because it's not there, the classic shot.
No.
But he dances the line several times with Jeff Goldblum to give us a similar aesthetic.
Yeah, he doesn't do it at any point with any of the females in the movie. It is only with Goldblum.
Cronenberg's camera only has eyes for Jeff Goldblum in this movie.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That is who he finds attractive in this movie.
100%. It was totally on him the whole time. And you know what?
Yes.
His choice wasn't wrong.
No, he was sexualized from the beginning. It was...
There's no...
No, this is the biggest question I have watching this movie again. I've seen it many times. At what point of the movie, at what stage of the movie, did Jeff Goldblum stop being attractive to you?
I don't know that yet. You know what? Before he went full on fly,
Yeah.
I think that was his least attractive phase.
Yes.
Definitely he was all right when his teeth were falling out and he was, melting a little bit.
Yes, and the pussy fingers.
Pussy fingers, a little off-putting, but hey, fingernails fall off. That's how they be sometimes. And the teeth falling out, by the way, I remember that. As soon as I saw it, I was, holy moly, I remember watching this at my grandma's house.
That transformation scene at the end of all the practical effects is the best. It's an American Werewolf in London of non-werewolf transformations. It's like the cream of the crop of non-werewolf transformations.
That's right. How many are there out there? Now that I'm trying to, I guess I don't watch a lot of movies where people turn into other things or hybrids of other things.
I guess I don't either. So it's mostly werewolves.
Unless you count the Turtles. Did you ever watch the Turtles versus Batman?
No.
Well, they do, because they give all the people at Arkham the ooze.
Oh, yeah.
So you get the mixes of animals and Two-Face and animals and Harley Quinn. It's pretty cool. You got to watch that.
What were you saying before?
I have no idea. Something dark side. Anyway, the teeth falling out. The
transformation. Yeah.
I feel like I've seen that teeth done following that. Since then.
Are you sure that wasn't just like your grandparents?
No, I think they had full-on dentures, so it was all the teeth at once. Yeah, not one at a time. But was that the first time? I don't remember seeing it anywhere else.
I don't know.
I'm always concerned about the first, Brian.
I know.
I'd like to know who was first. But what really matters is who was last.
My grandfather had one half of a tooth and refused to get dentures, and he just ate a lot of creamed corn.
Was that the grandpa who would rub his back against the wall?
And go, man alive.
Yep.
That was him.
I still say man alive because that's the coolest thing to ever say.
He's been alive just right 2 towns over from us since we got here in January, and I have not stopped by because you told me I can't.
That's right. We have to preserve the timeline, the sacred timeline. Anyway, back to this movie. It was a fly.
So it's a disgusting movie of body horror.
Yeah, but after you get past the stuff, like you said, when you get to the final transformation, it's just cool.
Yeah.
It's just crazy cool.
It's just Cronenberg loves his body horror, and this is his most mainstream body horror movie because, as I said last week, it is basically a superhero origin story. It just doesn't lead to the same path of saving people.
That's true. So they explain. So I can't imagine anybody has not seen this movie before, but it's about a scientist who makes a teleportation device, which I should show that to my brother. He's waiting for the day teleportation becomes real because, man, he doesn't want to walk. My brain froze. I had a stroke.
Well, on the teleportation device, do you think it's possible that we could, build something and then send the other end of it, or directions to build the other end of it, to 2024 and use that to get home?
Brian, before I answer that question,
Yeah.
because I've been struggling lately.
With your sexuality because you watched this Jeff Goldblum movie?
Which, by the way, as we're talking about sexuality, I like the transformation. I like the fly. I got real problems with the plot itself and the characters and who I'm supposed to root for in all of this.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Oh, we'll get to
because it is fascinating.
I'm not going to lie. I started to drift off because the only thing I remember really about the movie when I think
In
I
the
gave the
theater?
recap. Yes, in the theater because I was tired, yo. I'm a tired person still, even though I've got all this free time
You know
for
what's weird?
myself.
Since we got here in January, I've never been tired once.
I know.
I
You
don't
are
know what
just
that
go,
is.
go. This is really suiting you, and I like it because we belong here, man. This is the place.
I don't think I slept all through May, to be completely honest with you.
Well, I think I'm making up the sleep time deprivation for you. I'll pick up your slack on the sleep.
Okay, what were you struggling with?
I don't remember now. I wanted to talk about how much I don't like the people.
Yeah, but you also said that you were struggling with something because that's about teleporting home.
Yeah, because I like being here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you my Nick Cage news.
You literally just said this place is the best and we should stay here
I know.
forever.
But this is what's killing me. Nick Cage news is getting harder and harder to find. So
Well, the last 4 times it hasn't even been real news.
it's real news. It's all real. It's tough. It's tough out here in Nick Cage land being in the past because he hasn't done a lot yet. He's going to do it soon. So it's going to be a knick-knack fact. And because I don't have Nick news, I guess I have to strike that one from my repertoire. Knick-knack fact. But first, it's a Cage quiz, hotshot. Do you know what Nick Cage's favorite fruit is?
See, it should be something weird because he's a weird guy. Pomegranate.
No, it's an apple.
Is pomegranate a fruit?
I think it is.
I think
It
so,
has
too.
Seeds. And speaking of seeds, here's your knick-knack fact. Nick Cage liked apples so very much that he took all the seeds he could and started walking across this great country of ours, planting the seeds everywhere he went.
No.
And that, Brian, is why we have so many apple trees. And now the apple trees have gone all over the world. Well, they will someday when Nicolas Cage gets there.
I think we need to find if there is a therapist in 1986. Because
I don't know what you're talking about.
this is getting psychotic.
So tell me now about your teleportation. 'Cause you know what? I'm feeling pretty good about this.
I think we can teleport home.
There's no need to, Brian.
We have the money to finance any kind of scientific endeavor.
Jeff Goldblum said that no one cared because he was cheap, so he could do whatever he wanted. You think we could find somebody like that here?
In 1986?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, will they have the appeal of a Jeff Goldblum?
No, nobody does.
Well, then why bother? Why bother, Brian?
Is this the most Jeff Goldblum has ever been Jeff Goldblum?
I mean, he hasn't done Jurassic Park yet.
He's not more Jeff Goldblum in that movie than this movie. It's a movie you like better. That's not the question.
Well, here's what I'm going to...
The way that he enacts being taken over by the fly is just to Goldblum further.
Yeah, for a while, it seemed to be which one was going to be dominant, the Fly half or the Goldblum half.
It did.
And it looked like the Goldblum half was the clear winner. I don't know why
did.
everyone was worried. He was just Jeff Goldblum being Jeff Goldblum.
It's perfect casting because the way his eccentricities are there anyway. So he just dials them up a little bit. It's like, oh, something weird's happening.
But here's the thing.
Ben Grimm?
He always is, my friend. He always is.
Here's the thing. That's got to be the payoff at one point of this. That Ben Grimm's got to come on in here.
That would be pretty cool.
Yes.
Now, yeah, all right. We can get him here. His age. Someone should get in touch with that Fantastic Four. The Baxter Building is real. The Gremlins 2 people were there.
I didn't remember until this viewing that Be Afraid, Be Very Afraid was actually a line from the movie. It's famous from being on the poster, and it's the tagline to the movie, but it's actually in the movie.
Oh, yeah. When did they say it?
Gina Davis says it to the girl that Jeff Goldblum brings home
Oh, yeah, that's right.
to run his experiments on.
Did he ever get anybody in that pod that he wanted to transport?
Just the baboon.
Oh, God. Just that baboon.
Well, the one baboon. The other baboon makes it, and at times I think is running the scientific office that they're doing. He's at least the secretary.
At the very least, he's a lab partner. 100% he's a lab partner.
He's definitely a lab partner.
They must have, it was all three of them working together.
Yeah.
Goldblum and the two baboons.
Bob knew the risks.
He did. That's you saw the code. They must have drawn straws on what order they go.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, I'm in charge here. This is an equality.
Did you wonder what happened to the second baboon? Because I actually, from previous knowledge, know what happened to the second baboon.
Interesting. That did cross my mind. And then I forgot about it because, like I said, I was getting bored because I didn't like any of the people. And I didn't know whose side I was supposed to be on.
We'll get to that. The second baboon, after Brundle starts merging with the Fly and he can't, he's looking horrible, and it's like, I would say 3/4 of the way through his transformation.
His ugly stage.
Yes. He does a test to see, he has to create something like himself so he can try to run tests on it. So he merges the baboon with a cat.
What?
And we get a monkey cat, and it's hideous, and he beats it to death it's a monster, and he beats it to death with a lead pipe. And they took it out of the movie because Pete at that test screening said that it made him too unlikable. And for the end of the movie to work, you have to buy into the struggle between his human side and his insect half. But in that scene, it's like, well, I'm not going to root for a guy or feel sorry for a guy at all if he's beating a monkey cat to death.
I mean, that Pete had a pretty good point.
No, it makes total sense because as much in the middle of the movie as Brundle is not sympathetic, by the end of the movie, it is, because his struggle is so real to try to maintain any piece of his humanity.
And I think it worked that he was Goldblum.
It does work.
Still, if
It wouldn't work with other people.
No, but back to the original point. I think Jeff Goldblum is always the most Jeff Goldblum. He just is. There's no level that is less than Goldblum. Full Goldblum. I don't think there is. Think of every time you've seen him. You're just like, look at him. Look at him jeffing it up out there.
I know, but I think this is peak Goldblum.
What else did he do before this one?
Oh, I don't know.
Earth Girls Were Easy?
No, that's after. In fact,
Really?
this is Gina Davis 2 years before Beetlejuice, or as you would call it, 2 years before Earth Girls Are Easy.
Everything's coming up Gina Davis.
This was a big breakout for her. She'd been in things. She was a model who had been in...
Ben Grimm's?
She'd been in things, yeah. Multiple Ben Grimms.
Oh, wow.
She'd been in stuff and smaller characters, and this was her
Big time role.
Yes, and she broke out with this.
Because it was cool. This is the practical effects that I live for.
Yeah, nothing looks better than this grossness.
Right. But then you got the plot.
Well, I like
Then you got the characters.
I love the characters. And
Do you now?
I do.
Which one's your favorite?
You know which one's my favorite? Last Act Stathis.
That's the one I might have the most problems
Last
with.
act?
Yes, last act.
The final act of the movie.
Right.
When he's the pure hero.
Yes. Because why is he my choice for the hero? He's a colossal piece of shit who is harassing, who is using his authority, using his power. He was a professor who took this poor Gina Davis. He is all of these things. And now he's supposed to be the good guy because, oh, look, I was right all along.
Pete, it is worse than any of that. He was her teacher, who then became her boss.
Yes, this is what I'm saying.
So he has two different levels of power over her. He's just showing up in her apartment, showering, going, I still have the key.
Wait, what the fuck was that? That was insane.
How about the mental breakdown he has when he sees her in public? He's like, you spent the night with Brendel.
I forgot.
He's every 80s monster you've ever seen.
Yeah.
But when she gets pregnant, he becomes the most devotedly caring and protective and helpful person, to the point where when she, in a rage, she says, I have to get this baby out of me right now. He says, I think you should take a couple days and not make any rash reactions. I'm like, that's actually the proper thing to do, I think.
What he's doing, he just wants her to get an abortion. That's it.
That's not. No. Are you just going to ignore the scene I just brought up where she said we have to go now and do it now? And he said take a few days to think about it.
Do you know why he's saying that? Because if she goes now and dies, he can't use her anymore.
That's not why he
did. That is 100%. That's what people like that think. And you want him to be this is the guy I root for?
Whatever happened halfway through this movie, this man had an awakening and became
He had
a good
no
person.
awakening. He was trying to fight the fly because he hated Jeff Goldblum before he was a fly monster. And now he thinks he didn't help. Maybe if he had been nice to Jeff Goldblum a little bit, it would have gone differently. Maybe if he wasn't a piece of shit. But Jeff Goldblum had to deal with this dick showing up at his house when he was going through this kind of a life-changing event a little bit, like that Kafka thing where the guy turns into a bug of some sort.
He overcomes getting his hand, what would you call
acid
it?
Acid. I didn't know flies spit acid.
Yeah, that's how they eat. They
I
spit
didn't know
on it
that.
first to eat it. I did know that.
I'm going to start trying that.
He gets his leg acided off.
Yep.
And he's still, and the way he saves the day is the best because he's not the one. He does. He's not the one who shoots the fly. He shoots the wires to disconnect her pod from it to keep her safe. It's a heroic story.
All for his own nefarious purposes.
I don't think that it was. I think that there's a little. This is pre-Die Hard. I think there's a little Ellis twist that's going on here at the end where he's doing something for an actual good reason.
I think Ellis was just a dick, and he's always a dick, but he was he wasn't an asshole. He was just a dick.
Yeah, this guy's a complete dick.
This guy's 100%, and he's a terrible. I can't look past any of that.
Let's rank the dicks.
We're ranking dicks. Ghost Dick is number one.
We're ranking dicks here. We got Stathis, which is a dick name.
Yep. You know who he reminds me of?
Can I get the three out that I have to rank here?
All right,
we
go
got
ahead.
Stathis. We got Walter Peck in Ghostbusters.
That's who it was.
And we got Ellis in Die Hard. Who is the biggest prick?
It's not Die Hard. He's the least.
Okay.
He's number 3 then. And then I was thinking those two were the same person. That's how much. So I guess that's them, because that's exactly what I was thinking of. You got really strong Walter Peck vibes happening here, buddy. So I'm going to have to take them as a tie for number 1.
Did Walter Peck ever give you rapey vibes?
No, you know what? There we go. He is the worst. Fuck this guy.
But then, let's rank the completion of their arc. Let's rank their redemption moments. Walter Peck has none.
But you know what? He wasn't wrong.
Walter Peck was wrong.
That's true. He was. What a douche.
Walter Peck has none, and he's in the last Ghostbusters as the mayor, which is what I wanted him to be.
I haven't seen
barely in it.
You mean in those the new generation ones?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen any of those.
He's
Man,
still
it's going to be a long wait.
Still a clueless Walter Peck, and then you have Ellis, who tries to use his negotiations to save everybody, which is I still maintain pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
And then this person who saves Gina Davis at the cost of literal arm and a leg.
And now, who is beholden to him for all of time? Because now he is an invalid. Someone has to take care of him. Now she is his literal live-in slave. He wouldn't give her back the key to her own apartment. That was fucking crazy. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
It's the 80s, man.
Dude, maybe I don't want to be back here.
Also, his name's Stathis. I can't get over it.
Yeah, he's 100%. It's not a competition. Everyone else, pales. Walter Peck was just an idiot.
Now, of the three, who do you think did the most cocaine? Ellis, right?
Oh, it had to be.
Yeah.
100%.
That's why he ended up being such a cool guy. I don't think Peck ever did drugs.
No,
he's a rules guy.
He's a rules guy. Rules guys don't do drugs.
This guy definitely did.
This guy, you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably did.
You think he wasn't on that when he was yelling at her in the department store?
No, I think he's just a fucking psychopath.
I wonder, there are other problems besides that scene, but that scene is just a complete public meltdown. And why is it in there if you're just going to have this redemption arc for him in the last place?
And it was in the middle of some sort of department store,
yes.
And everyone seemed to be okay with this guy verbally screaming at a woman. I don't know how else he would scream.
It's the 80s.
Perhaps. Man, that's really it. You can't scream without verbally. It's an audio sound. I've lost myself in my own little conundrum, Brian.
So, yeah, that is the B plot of the movie that comes up. The Fly is a body horror movie with an abortion B plot, the likes of which I have not seen since Over the Top, where a movie about arm wrestling championships was set against the backdrop of a custody battle.
I was just thinking, because we watched Aliens, when she had the dream waking up with the, so I had very strong vibes. It's been a summer of...
The same thing happens here. She has the dream about giving birth to the larvae.
Yeah.
And then she wakes up, but luckily nobody in that scene gave her very pertinent information to the plot that I now have to wonder if is real or not for a while.
All right. So, whatever happened with that abortion? Does she still have that fly baby?
I don't know. I think The Fly 2 comes out in a few years and decides that she did have the baby.
Oh, is it a fly?
I think it's Eric Stoltz.
So he was a mask.
And
that explains
I think
it.
Daphne Zuniga is the love interest in it. Nobody returns from this
The
movie.
Druish princess?
Maybe somebody does return. Maybe Stathis is there. I'm so curious now.
I don't. You know what? He's back.
He's back, and at that point, he's like the best guy in the world.
Is he?
He's been
No,
redeemed.
he's not. He's like an evil RoboCop. He's a robo-rapist. It's awful.
I mean, some would argue RoboCop was the evil RoboCop because, they cab.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what?
Man.
I think we should get stickers made that say "Accept RoboCop," so we can stick them on bumpers that say "ACAB."
Except RoboCop.
Except RoboCop.
Did RoboCop turn out to be good at the end?
Yeah.
But was it in a bad way? Like, we don't support that kind of good?
I mean, it's murder. He murders people.
Did they have it coming?
Yeah, I don't know that that's the line that the police are supposed to decide, though.
Oh, man, they're really not.
I'm pretty sure that there's a whole other system for that.
Oh, boy. All right. So this is just problematic all over the place. Do we have any pure robot or cyborgs on our side?
Yeah, I said K9, and you said no. And
K9?
yeah, from Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah, right, because I don't know K9. I never saw any of those episodes with K9.
You dismissed my Rosie the Robot.
What's she going to do, clean up?
It's on your side, though. Speaking of arm wrestling, the best practical effect to be in the movie is when he snaps that dude's hand, the arm
Arm
and the
off?
bone comes...
I knew it was coming, and I still visibly winced.
Because it's so well done.
Oh, yeah. Although I do like that arm break in and over the top. And since you brought it up, that's the only other time I remember a wrist snapping during it. Were there just a lot of arm wrestling competitions back now? Because I haven't seen them. At least there's no competitions at the mall.
No, that's not what they do at the mall.
So I don't know if they're doing it anything else or anywhere else.
So I know you still think Stathis is the bad guy for some reason in the third act. Brundle's plan is to merge himself with Gina Davis and the baby.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem. I get it. It's wrong and it's horrible. It's not a great idea.
But I just want to say that you said you had no idea who you're supposed to be rooting for. At no point did you think maybe Gina Davis?
No, I was rooting for Gina Davis, but here's the thing, man.
The Ben Grimm?
Here's the Ben Grimm, man. He said, "Hey, don't kill my fly, baby," and she said, "No, I'm going to do it." So what choice did he have left? He's part fly, part human. He's not thinking right, but he's so bad. My other option is so terrible that I'm now forced to start rationalizing this human fly's reasoning behind stuff because I know that the other guy's the bad guy. I just know it in the core of me.
Stathis.
So, yeah, Stathis is the bad guy. There's no way around it. So now I'm very confused by why the fly is my hero.
Stathis who saves the day?
This was very much like an Empire ending.
Empire?
Strikes Back, not Empire
I
Records.
was going to say Empire Records.
I don't remember how Empire Records ends.
It's me falling asleep.
Yeah,
Every time.
Well, again, that's about where I was right in this movie.
Who's
Like,
in Empire Records? How many can we get? I know Liv Tyler's in there. I know Renee Zellweger's in there. I think Ethan Embry might make an
Ethan
appearance.
Embry is 100% in there.
Is this a Campbell Scott joint, or am I thinking of singles?
I don't know. I don't know who that is. Is there a Dermot Mulrooney, perhaps?
I don't know. Does that mean that it might be Dylan McDermott?
It might be Dylan McDermott.
Let's just say Pullman and Paxton to cover our bases.
That takes care of it all. Were
They're
they ever in a movie together?
Pullman and Paxton?
Yeah.
They're in every movie together.
They do seem that's a little known Hollywood fact.
Yeah.
That they're each other's body doubles.
That's right. That's
And
right.
They take over scenes if one of them needs a lie down or something.
My favorite thing about this Pullman Paxton thing is that they look nothing alike. It's just because their names have some similar letters. They don't rhyme.
Well, it's Bill and Bill.
Sure.
And then there's
Keep going.
it's a P. You see?
Yeah.
You see, it's a P, and
see,
that's where the trouble be.
You're jumping onto my some similar 11 letters thing.
Oh, is that what you were saying?
If his name was like Pax Man and Pull Man, I'd get it, but it's not.
Now I'm going to start saying Bill Pac-Man. Thanks, Brian.
Do you think Bill Pullman had Bill Paxton murdered?
100% no.
I just know who my one suspect would be.
It's Stephen King's son.
And somehow, and I don't know how many degrees away, but I know Kevin Bacon's involved.
He always is. All right. What was I thinking? I had a thought. No, I lied. I didn't have a thought.
At the end of the movie, Brundle tries to escape his pod because whether you want to admit it or not, Stathis saves Gina Davis. And he gets part of the door merged into him, so now he's part machine, too.
I completely forgot that happened, but I was like, oh, snap. Now he's a part machine, part human, part fly. I didn't even know you could do that.
It's so cool. And I was like, I bet there was definitely moments where Cronenberg was like, what else can we put in here? And they're like, it doesn't make sense narrative. Was like, I don't care. What else can we put here? Put a fucking door on him.
A giraffe wanders into the lab.
Yeah.
Oh, that was my other memory, too, that he was like in his kitchen or something when he got shot. And that's because his whole lab was his studio. It was everything. It was all in one.
Yes, so it was a cool studio apartment.
That's what I was thinking too. We got to get something like that.
Now I know you're never for this because it would make the movie longer, but
I'm out. This was already pushing it at what, an hour 35. It was pushing, man, pushing.
So I'll remove all of the Stathis stuff. So that entire plot line is gone.
All right, so there's no Stathis.
Instead, what I'm adding in, so it doesn't make it demonstratively longer, is scenes where Brundle is bringing humans in to merge with himself to maintain more humanity.
Then I think I like this movie better.
So every time you see him, he's a little bit better, and then he gets a little bit worse.
But you know what?
But he loses more of his humanity in his soul.
You don't find that out to the end. Like, you think he's struggling and stuff.
Yes.
And that's why it's looking all right.
So his appearance is maintaining more humanity. By doing it, he's losing most of his humanity inside.
He's like his own Dorian Gray.
Sounds pretty good.
I see.
I see the picture you're painting.
And
a portrait?
I see the pun that you're pugning.
Is it a portrait?
Yeah, it is.
Damn it.
Take my picture.
Smack my picture. Still alive in 1986.
Good for him.
Actually, this whole movie, doing pretty good.
Again, there are only like 5 people, so I'm glad.
It's still a good hit rate.
Yeah, I assume they're all alive.
Yeah. Cronenberg's still hanging out.
Jeff Goldblum was doing something the last time I saw him.
Last time I saw him was in a Jurassic Park movie, of course.
Oh, yeah. No, I think he had some show on. It was on the Disney Plus bundle where he explained things.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
I did. I watched one episode. I said, oh, look at that Jeff Goldblum.
I didn't, but I knew of his existence.
And really, if you know it exists, you know the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I did hear him before we left on the Conan O'Brien podcast, and he's very funny.
He seems like he would be funny.
Yeah.
Oh, was he peak Jeff Goldblum?
No, this was Peak Jeff Goldblum. We're seeing it now in 86. I do wonder how this movie would work with any other actor. I just feel like it would be missing so much. Like, if you were to do a remake, Uptime, because this is a remake itself. So I don't think anybody could get mad if you remade a remake.
When did the original come out?
1950-something.
Huh, I've never seen it.
Vincent Price. It's not the same plot.
Okay.
It does involve flies and like of somebody becoming a fly. It doesn't look at all or feel at all like this. This is David Cronenberg's a sicko, and I love it.
Okay.
This is akin to how Carpenter remade The Thing, and it's nothing like the original Thing because it's its own
thing. Its own Ben Grimm. Sometimes
really, really, really good directors can do remakes, and they turn out to be absolute classics.
Okay. It would probably just go down as one of these great special effects movies, and it gets a pass based on that. Because look at the features.
It helps that effects got so much worse.
Oh, afterwards? Well, and here's my problem going back to your Uptime remake.
Yes. Just who would you cast in the Jeff Goldblum?
My fear is that they would be CGI, so I've already lost interest. I'm just out. I don't want to see that. And I don't know who I would cast.
Well, who do you think would be cast?
Tom Cruise.
Like, Cronenberg's actually remade a couple of his own movies, or at least once. I wonder, like, if he came back and was like, I'm doing this again with practical effects. I'm taking Brian's incredible idea to make it about maintaining the look of the human while losing the soul of the human, because I think that's brilliant, and I missed that completely when I wrote the script. I don't think you wrote the script. So, who would you cast? Because I'm thinking it's definitely Robert Pattinson.
Oh, 100% no.
I think he'd be good in it.
No, there's only one.
It's Timothée Chalamet.
There's only one.
This is Jeff Goldblum.
No, it's Nicolas Cage.
No, he's not casting an old-
Obviously, Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage would nail that role, and you would believe it.
He actually would be pretty good in that role.
That's his bread and butter. That's him laying it on, just slathering up that acting bread.
And I would cast
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell as Gina Davis.
Oh, I like this idea.
And I would cast... I'm taking Stathis out of the movie, but just in case I wanted to put him back in, who would be a good Stathis?
What's Spader up to these days?
Being like 70 years old.
That makes it even creepier.
It does.
Just all the power he has over
Well, no,
Bruce Campbell.
We're switching the dynamics here. So it's a woman. The Stathis is a woman.
Lucy Lawless.
I like her too much for her to be hated. You know what I mean?
okay.
How's she
Yeah.
gonna? I know she's a good actor, but like, I'm not gonna hate her.
I was just thinking that we could bring Xena and Autolycus, the King of Thieves, back together.
Nobody knows what you're talking about.
Oh, people know what I'm talking about. People like me who watched it, so it might just be me.
You know who I would cast as the Stathis? Elf. He could do it. Paul Fusco, he could do it.
Man, from what I remember, that was not Elf's vibe.
I don't know. Elf's he's not a rapey vibe, but I seem to recall him spying on showers.
He also did like to chase that pussy.
Yes, he knows which door he's going in. He's like,
Oh,
oh,
man.
it's like it's a buffet.
See, I haven't. I'm so excited about Elf, and it feels like you're trying to ruin it for me.
No, I won't ruin this for you the way I ruined Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, yeah, that's a tough one to watch now.
And I won't remind you that the father is a crackhead, and there's really the only one I got.
That's what's going on in Ferris Bueller's Day. Oh, yeah, that's right. Man,
No, an Elf.
is that what his problem was in real life?
Willie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He would have developed another problem in 2019, but in 1986, still alive.
Good for him. Oh,
About
no.
to star on the hit TV show Elf.
All right. Well, I'm excited for that. Anyway, what was your point? Who would you cast?
Yes,
Elf?
who would you
You're going
cast
to
as
cast Elf?
Stathis?
Mr. Scope.
Did you just like look around and see like a microscope and then just take
No,
that name?
because then his name would be Stethoscope.
Oh no, I just walked into the worst. It's been 30, I've known you for 30 years. That's the worst one yet.
All right. I am nailing it today.
I feel like empty inside now. And I just want to like go lay down and not get up for a few months.
Just let that pun resonate inside of you.
It's not the pun, it's that you got me to follow into the
Right.
thing enough.
But now that you're empty inside, you're open to receiving it, and you'll understand that this is the way. This is what funny is. That's how I infect most people.
I feel a little sick.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, and Stathis cannot be the bad guy because Stathis has the best line in the entire movie.
No, it was Goldblum. I don't remember the line, but I laughed really, really hard.
Well, he's got some great lines because he's just Goldbluming through
Right.
long stretches of nonsense. It's amazing.
And I believe if he turned into a fly in real life, that's just how he would do it too.
Gina Davis says to him in the department store, I'm finally onto something that's big. It's huge. And he goes, yeah, what is cock?
Right. See, I was just so offended by everything he did. Like, that was just like my jaw agape just listening to this.
That line was so good that I'll be honest. I held it against Gina Davis's character a little bit. This poor woman being harassed and harangued by a monster to not just go, okay, well, that's pretty good. Because it's pretty good.
Well, I had the exact opposite because at the end of the movie, when she says no to the fly guy who has to be, when she says, no, I don't want your fly baby, I was like, oh, come on, Gina Davis. You've given him no choice now. So I understand. We're just coming at this from wildly opposite directions.
I do want to point out that as much as I'm trying to defend Stathis here, he knows where an all-night one-stop abortion shop is.
That's right.
Which is never really focused on, but it tells you enough about his character.
I didn't even consider. I think that was Cronenberg, by the way, the doctor.
Oh, maybe. I expected him to like high-five Ellis walking out of the building.
Or he pulls. I was thinking he might have a frequent flyer card or a preferred customer thing with punch outs.
He definitely does. He got the doctor out of bed to go to the office in the middle of the night for a very specific procedure.
And the guy didn't seem too nonplussed about it. He was a little annoyed, but
I feel like they cut a line where it's like, Stathis, I told you no more of this in the middle of the night.
give me your punch card.
It's one of those little details.
And this is the hero of my Peak. Cronenberg has some issues, dude.
Oh, 100%. His movies are very much this.
Well, this is the only one I've seen.
It's the most mainstream of all of his movies, I think. Well, he also did those Viggo Mortensen movies in the early 2000s that like Eastern Promises.
Oh,
and
I think I watched that one actually.
History of Violence, maybe. I never saw
Maybe
those
that
movies.
it was
but I've
one
heard
of
they were
those.
Great.
I watched one of them. It was all right. It was Aragorn running around being a Russian gangster.
Aragorn, that reminds me. The music on this movie was done by Howard Shore, I saw, who did the Lord of the Rings trilogy and the Hobbit trilogy for Peter Jackson and other Peter Jackson movies.
Also, Pauly Shore's dad.
Good music in this movie, which I don't usually notice. Very reminiscent of the movie Silence of the Lambs that comes later because it's the same composer of Silence of the Lambs.
What? I don't remember the music in this movie.
I do. The score was one of those offbeat, horror.
Did they have like a sound anywhere like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre has, as you tell me, as you allege at the beginning that is some sort of iconic sound?
That one?
Possibly. I don't remember it.
Oh.
Well, this
I was going to say one day we'll do a watch along and you will remember it, but we turn the volume off, so that's not going to actually happen.
See, so you can't prove me wrong. Now, what was my point? A number 2 pencil, extra sharp.
Number 2.
That means poop.
Extra sharp like cheddar.
Oh, gross. An extra sharp number 2. Oh, is that some horrible joke that the whole education industry has played on us?
I don't know, but now I'm wondering what its relation to the bottom bunk is. I know that's where you keep it until it comes out of the bottom bunk.
That's where you keep your sharpened number 2.
That's where you keep your extra sharp number 2.
You really do.
Yep.
These are all questions we'll have to ponder, Brian.
I'm trying to remember what month it is. It's August.
It's hot out there.
Which means we got big news next week. 2
You're
movies
pregnant?
come out.
Are you pregnant with the Fly
With
Baby?
the Fly Baby.
Jeff Goldblum's the daddy?
Yep.
You're not going to get rid of this one, are you? You're not going to disappoint Fly Jeff Goldblum.
I wouldn't want to upset his brothers and sisters. No. The next time that we record, we're going to have to pick between 2 movies.
Uh-oh.
But we're going to do both, so it doesn't really matter the order we do them in. Because it's a double feature next week. Literally, next week, we have 2 movies we're going to cover come out.
My jaw is agape.
An extra sharp number 2.
I
would close that mouth.
This isn't 2 Girls, 1 Cup. That's not going to come for a long time.
I never watched it because the title had spoilers.
Yeah, it did. But you know what? It was not what they did with the cup was not what I was expecting.
Did they play the Anna Kendrick song?
No, that would have been a video. In fact, somebody should find that thing because that was from the early days of the internet.
One Girl, One Cup.
And put that song over it.
One Girl, One Cup. Just label the Anna Kendrick music video One Girl, One Cup. Put it up there.
All right, you could do that.
I can't because the internet doesn't exist.
Also, those people probably weren't born yet.
Who?
Whoever starred in that video.
Oh, okay. I never saw it.
Yeah. Well, you're missing out, man.
I don't feel like
Once we get there, I'll find it for you.
when shit like that goes too mainstream, I'm not in on it. It's like the way when we were younger, you told me you like Blink 182 until they hit it big. And
No,
now they don't
it
like
was
them
Sublime.
anymore. Sublime. No, there was other bands too.
Really? Yeah, that seems like something I would say back then. Like, I liked them when no one else knew them, man.
That's
That's
right.
when they were cool. That sounds exactly like something that idiot Past Pete would say.
Well, he'll say it in the future.
Yeah, Future Pete's not that bright either. As near as I can tell, he doesn't do much.
Would you like to pick what our next one is? We're going to do both again, so don't worry about it.
I pick number 4.
Would you like to know what they are of the 2?
No, yeah, I take 4.
We can go and we're going to go watch both the same day. We're going to do double feature.
All right.
You can watch the movie directed by. Well, we're going to watch both. Which one we're going to cover
No,
first?
man, I'm just doing one.
Which one we're going to cover first? A movie directed by the director of one of our all-time favorite movies, The Monster Squad,
Ooh.
called Night of the Creeps, starring Tom Atkins.
I was hoping you wouldn't tell me what they were, so I just had to pick a movie based on your little hints.
I have no doubt which one you're going to pick of the 2.
Okay.
And the other one is a sequel to Ken, the Foreign Correspondent, one of his favorite movies of all time, one of my favorite movies of all time, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
My instinct is to run screaming from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Pete, what if I told you this one's a comedy with Dennis Hopper in it?
Brian, I kind of remember you did. Tell me more about this movie, because I remember you saying it was not like the first one.
It is not.
Is there a barbecue contest of some kind involved?
There is.
I'm listening. Call me Frasier.
The chef from the original is going around trying to win these barbecue contests with his human meat.
I see.
That's how it starts. But then you fall into some stuff with the family, and you get family favorite characters back, such as Leatherface and a guy that's not the hitchhiker because he's dead.
Oh, yeah. So the hitchhiker stays dead. They don't bring him back?
I don't remember for
There's just
for
another
sure.
brother. Brian?
There's a different brother named Chop Top that I remember. Because it's Bill Moseley.
Toby Hooper, I believe, is this director's name, because he
came
made
back.
Poltergeist.
He pulled the Gremlins 2 before Gremlins 2. They said, we really want you to do a sequel to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He said, I'll do it, but I'm going to do it my way, and you're not going to like it. Although, people like it, but it's going to be not what you expect.
I think I'm sold on, against the odds, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre sharp pencil.
Well, you've asked nothing about Night of the Creeps.
Don't care.
What if I told you Night of the Creeps was like a 1950s throwback alien monster movie with 1980s aesthetics and 1980s special effects and 1980s that 80s sheen and feel to it that we love so much?
Is it black and white?
No. It's just like a fun movie that, yeah.
And I can only watch one, you said.
No, I literally said you're going to watch both. I just wanted to know which one you want to watch first.
Can I watch it if we ever get back uptime?
Yeah. I guess so.
Okay.
But you can see it in the theater next week.
But I can only choose the one to see.
No,
That's when I'll see
like
it.
in a row. I've already bought the tickets.
Well, which one's first? Don't they have times?
Chicken. There's two doors. One is a chicken and one is an egg. Which one do you walk in?
One is an egg. All right, you've changed up the old paradigm. I had that one licked.
And then you just stand there and piss your pants because you don't know which one to walk into first.
What am I? A man walks into a bar.
Ouch.
Oh, you've heard this one.
I've done this one.
Haven't we all, of an evening, spent out too late?
Well, we're going to watch both. We'll just, whatever order we do them in is whatever order they come out.
I've never actually bought a ticket in all the years I've known you for a movie, so
true.
I don't know how tickets work. So I thought that they had like specific times you had to go, aside from the times I would sneak into the one theater and then go watch like 4 more.
I feel like after 8 minutes I shouldn't have to do this, but I would like to reset the premise. It's not which movie you watch at all or which movie you watch first. It's which one we cover first on the podcast. You live in a world where you'll have seen both.
But we're going to talk about both of them, too.
On 2 different episodes, yes.
Right. But we have to talk about both of them. Mm-hmm. So does it matter which order they go in?
No, that's why I was giving you the slightest amount of power, and I regret it completely.
This is why I have such trouble making lists. You understand?
No, I do, because I tried to rank 3 assholes from the 80s, and you got one at the bottom, and then there's a tie.
They were both this. No,
remarkable consistency on your end.
You convinced me, though. Stethis was the worst, like the absolute worst.
That's what I convinced you of.
Yeah, that's what
the argument opposite of which I was making.
Yeah, but you had a lot of good points. I didn't take them the way I think you intended me to take them, because, man, that guy, he is up there for quite possibly one of the worst villains in history of film ever. Like, Cruella's got nothing on him.
She skinned puppies.
Yeah, and this guy's worse. That's what I'm telling you.
We are only 3 weeks removed from watching Jeffrey Jones.
Oh, God, he was pretty bad.
You said during that episode that pedophile always wins. I don't know what you meant, but I pulled that sound clip for future use just in case.
I like that. Usually whatever this technology is that you have available to you, I've probably hours doing the good thing you don't sleep anymore. What else?
It's amazing what you can get accomplished.
What you have chosen to take, sir, I have umbrage with. That's what I take, umbrage.
Dolores umbrage? We've done this before. I'm not going back down this road.
All right. I don't know, Brian. You pick.
Then we'll do Night of the Creeps first. We'll save
I want to do the other one.
We'll save the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. We're just going to record them at the same time and put them out in different weeks.
That's kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to see if you could make a decision.
Well, that was a failure.
Anybody who wants to know the inner workings of how a podcast works, get somebody who has no opinion on what you do next. It makes things a lot easier for you.
Because we got to get them done eventually.
Just tell him, like, this is what we're doing. And he's like, don't want to do that. And then it's like, great.
That is my automatic response to everything, because I want people to know that I'm not enthusiastic about having to work at anything. So I'll do it, but I'm not going to be happy about it, and it won't be cheerful.
How many times do you think Gina Davis said that to Stathis in
All the
prequel
time.
to The Fly?
I don't think she was allowed to say it because he wouldn't tolerate such lip from this woman.
But he's such an interesting character because
No.
I don't understand what happens halfway through the movie.
I know what happened. He saw he had to get rid of that whatever was soiling his perfect little plaything.
I don't know. I think he went through the machine himself, but something like a butterfly was in there with him. He just became a beautiful butterfly.
He became Mothra.
Ooh, I like it.
That'd have to be a big machine. I guess you could just take part of Mothra, like a fur piece.
You could just need any DNA.
Dino DNA. That was all I had.
Yeah, I didn't know where that was. Because it's Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that was why.
Ooh, a Jeff Goldblum raptor.
You know what? That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, Jeff Goldblum could probably become a raptor pretty well if he starts really mixing things around, because that's what I think he wants to be. I said, careful, Jeff Goldblum. If you get in that transporter, you might turn into a raptor. I had that thought. I didn't tell you because I don't like to talk during the movies. I think it's rude.
Another good Peak Jeff Goldblum movie is Independence Day. He's all Goldblum all over that movie.
Holy cow, is he ever?
Yeah.
I forgot about Independence Day.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the second one?
I think I did.
I just know that they killed off Will Smith, like oh yeah, his ship blew up.
Yeah. And I remember they kill off Bill Pullman as vengeance for what he did to Bill Paxton.
See, I don't think that it's because of his character in that movie that I don't believe he would ever do anything wrong against Bill Paxton. Bill Pullman is just too cool.
Just want to throw out there that because he played the President of the United States, you believe his hands are clean.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Even though, remember that movie? I think it was called The Grudge, where...
Yes, where he...
Oh, that was Carrie Elwes.
No, that's Saw.
No. Was that him? Oh, that was Bill Pullman. You're right. Was Bill Pullman.
Just jumps off the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was sad.
I guess so. the movie at that point had not set up anything about his character, so you had no attachment to him other than knowing it was Bill Pullman. At that point, you didn't. You thought it was Bill Paxton.
He was the president, man. He saved us from the aliens.
He was the president.
How did he get on that hotel room ledge? What happened?
I want to hear Bill Paxton's... has anybody ever made Bill Paxton do the... I guess I can't.
Good luck with that.
I want to see if anybody ever made... My one request at Bill Paxton signing or something like that was, can you do the speech from Independence Day?
That would be pretty good.
And then I want Bill Pullman to do the game over.
Okay, we can still get Pullman.
Yeah, but in '86 we can get both, and they won't even know what the fuck lines we're talking about. Well, we'll know the game over, but they won't know the Independence Day.
No,
this is our opportunity. Let's go find Bill Paxton, bring him the sides from the Independence Day speech that hasn't even been written yet, and then we'll have it recorded with him doing it, and then we can bust that out of the world later.
Ooh.
I'm not doing any of that. That sounds exhausting. And I never get tired.
I just remembered Bill Paxton was in Weird Science. He played Chet.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Any other thoughts on David Cronenberg / Jeff Goldblum's The Fly?
It is sexy Jeff Goldblum and then sexy Fly, and there's some ugly part in between.
Name Stathis?
Name Stathis. Gosh, what a Stathis. That guy's a real Stathis, I'm going to start saying.
I'm not going to read it, so I guess I don't want a novelization of it, but I want some further backstory as how he went from being her teacher to her editor and just controlled her life forever.
It seemed like, all right, whatever. We don't need to keep talking about it. He's a bad guy. What's your takeaway of this film?
That Stathis is the hero.
Yeesh. I don't know who the worst villain in film now, because I got two contenders. I got Jeffrey Jones and I got this guy. But you know what? Jeffrey Jones is just like a bad person in life. I hope the character, whoever played Stathis, is... Oh, by the way, you know why I didn't bring up any kind of credit check?
No.
Because there was nothing. There was nothing worth talking about. Although, I will say...
I myself have brought up the director and the composer.
Like I said, nothing. But what I did notice... I'm pretty sure they killed that first baboon. Like, that was actually what they did, like microwaved it and turned it inside out, because there was no thing saying the animals weren't harmed.
Yeah, they did get turned inside out.
I think that's what they did.
Why would you start with the baboon? There's like lesser animals.
I had that same thing. I'm like, aren't you supposed to start with mice? Isn't that the tried and true starting point? Or fruit flies? I don't remember that part.
Well, flies are what got him into this mess.
Do you think we could have a versus the birds. Like if Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds attacked The Fly, who would win?
The Fly itself, or the Fly?
The Fly, the Jeff Goldblum, the Brundle Fly.
The Brundle Fly. I always thought Brundle Fly was like.
I think it's a brindle fly.
No, his name's Seth Brundle.
No, but I mean, a brindle fly is a type of fly.
Oh, well, I always thought that Brundle Fly was like a later thing that was attached to the movie as a cool way to say his name. I didn't remember that he just is like, I'm turning into Brundle Fly.
See, that was just his way of just dealing with turning into Brundle Fly.
I remember the line now that was so good that he had. That might have been almost as good as, oh, yeah, what is cock?
All right.
It's when
he set a high bar.
It's when he says, because he's now half human, half fly, and the fly part's taking over. And he says to her that he's a fly who dreamed of being a man and the dream is ending. It's a great fucking line.
That was a great line.
It was a great fucking line.
Too bad I was so tired when he delivered it. Because I was not sure who to like. Because that was one of those lines you're like, oh, poor Grundle Fly.
It was really good. Yeah, this is if you like Jeff Goldblum, this is like got to be in your collection. This is a great Goldblum.
Yeah, it's the special effects are great. It's fun, and it's Jeff Goldblum being Jeff Goldblum.
When the fly underneath busts out of the Brundle suit, when he busts out of the Brundle suit, and you just see like the face just falling away, face off.
Yep, face. He didn't have any sugar
it's so
water.
Fucking good, and I like how he comes out with part machine now. And then he takes she doesn't want to kill him, and he takes
his little fly claw
his
thing
claw and puts it up to his head and was like, you gotta kill me now. And it's fucking disgusting and great.
She should have said, no, I've changed my mind. Let's kill this Stathis fellow who's no good at all. And then they have their little baby, and they live happily ever after.
Yeah, with Stathis.
No, they kill him.
No, they don't kill Stathis.
They kill him. They melt off his other limbs and then make him be there, and they put little wheels on him and they roll him around. He's like their table.
Melt off.
Do
you think? See, I don't know. I've never seen the sequel because it's bad, made by much lesser talent. But I'd like to think that Stathis is in it, and he's still trying to like control women's lives. Except now he can't really get after them very well because he's got one leg. And he can only grope them with one hand.
So you're saying that because he's the hero, if I'm following you right, that this behavior is acceptable and he's still doing it, but he's still the hero, so it's okay.
I'm saying exactly that, yes.
Okay. I was just making sure.
I'm just really glad you didn't misconstrue it because it could make me look really bad if you did, but you've got it.
All right, 100%.
No notes.
I miss a lot of things, so I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now.
I'm saying that this movie posits that smart, sexy men will try to fuse together with you.
That's true.
And the asshole controlling your life monster is the one you'll need in a pinch.
I guess so, to come in all manly and unasked for.
And also, that future man watching movie in past will watch three characters in the movie be so unable to identify with the female that he goes, who am I supposed to root for? All right, we'll be back next week with, I think it's going to be Night of the Creeps, which, first time watch for you?
Yeah, I think so.
It's crazy because I think it's like one of only two movies the Monster Squad guy ever directed. He wrote a bunch of stuff, I think.
Okay, no.
So that's kind of exciting then.
This is going to be two new ones in a row for me.
Wow.
On the same day.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa.
We can do a podcast as Joey Lawrence and Owen Wilson, but we can only ever do those things. Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
Wait.
Wow.
Keanu could come and go, whoa.
Whoa, he's here. Well, you know, shit, can't get Kitty over here so she can do her amazing Frank Welker.
I don't remember her, Frank Welker.
Go back and listen to the Gremlins episode for the incredible Frank Welker performance.
All right. I'll do that when we get to it. I could go ask Kitty to do it now.
No, you can't. Don't stay away from that girl.
All right. I got to go.
You know, you're the Stathis in this situation.
Already gone, my friend.
All right. Well, you learned he's the hero, so that's probably not going to work out too bad.